Will Marvin Jones Jr. be a long-term wide receiver for the Detroit Lions? Well, there's a trade rumor saying that he may not. Let's get into it. First thing I would like to say is that this is not on the trade block. This is just a rumor, okay? It's a rumor, but it was going around. I thought it was super interesting. And why I thought it was super interesting is because of my old channel. I'd say back in December/January, we did a video talking about 5 trades that could happen. And Marvin Jones Jr. was one of those guys. And that was like, right after the season or right near the end of the season because he was hurt. He had to deal with that injury. And, there was some speculation like, well, the Detroit Lions, they may want to move on. He's aging. He didn't have a great season. But again, a lot of that had to do with being injured. And as a whole, the offense really struggled. So I think it was really hard to just place a lot of the blame on Marvin Jones Jr. But when he was healthy, he played very well. The thought here was that Marvin Jones Jr. won't be a long-term wide receiver for the Detroit Lions. This is not saying that he will be traded very recently or he may even be traded this season. The only way they're saying he would be traded this season is if the Detroit Lions go off to a super slow start. We're out of playoff contention very early, maybe before the trade deadline, and decided, okay, let's move him. Like if they're 1-8 or something, I don't know, something terrible like that. Hopefully it doesn't happen. But that would be the one way they move him this season. Other than that, really you have to keep him this year because when you look at your wide receiver depth, first of all, we have a lot, but those are our top 2 wide receivers, Kenny Golladay and Marvin Jones Jr. We saw how hard it was to really produce offense when we lost a guy in Golden Tate. Now to lose a guy in Marvin Jones Jr. and then put it all back on Kenny Golladay and a whole bunch of young guys and Danny Amendola, that may not be the best idea for the Detroit Lions unless Travis Fulgham becomes a beast this season, which I would like to give him a few years like we did for Kenny Golladay. But anyways, the Detroit Lions would not be trading him this year if this happened at all, most likely. Now, this would be a long-term type of move. The Detroit Lions would trade him maybe after the season because, if that injury comes back up, that's one way. If the injury comes back up, maybe he's proving, okay, he's aging, he's going to take injuries, and there's really no reason to keep him around. There's also talk that Marvin Jones Jr. doesn't really like Matt Patricia's way, and I heard this with a lot of players. I think we've all heard this. Some people love Matt Patricia and what he does. Other people completely hate what Matt Patricia does. And apparently, again, a rumor, Marvin Jones Jr. doesn't really love what Matt Patricia does. And I guess that's a yes sir type of guy that does whatever they says. That's not Marvin Jones Jr., but that's what Matt Patricia kind of looks for. And with that being said, if Marvin Jones Jr. is like, hey man, I don't really like this, maybe after this season, he's like, I can't be here long term with Matt Patricia, then maybe he'll be the one to force the trading issue. And then the Detroit Lions would really have to go find another wide receiver, and that would most likely be the draft. Because anyways, we've seen drafts for Detroit Lions, mock drafts for 2020, where they've been taking wide receivers. But the reason the Detroit Lions really can't move much from now is because if you try to trade away Marvin Jones Jr., and you did, you would have to get someone very talented at wide receiver position, and you probably won't. So with that being said, now you're looking at free agency. And free agency, I'm going to be honest, not the best place to get a free agent wide receiver right now, not very stacked, and we can't put that pressure on our young guys. Now again, this is not like 100%, this is not certain. This is a rumor that was going on last night, and I thought, you know what, I would talk about this because I thought it was very interesting that we talked about this a long time ago, and now we see more rumors coming back up. Really, we don't know what's going to happen, but I would say if you want to bet on it, expect Marvin Jones Jr. to be here for at least this entire NFL season. This is really a long-term trade that the Detroit Lions would be looking to make, but I expect him to be here this season. Hopefully, him and Matt Patricia don't have any beef or anything like that, and they can get along. That way we can try to win some games long-term, because I don't want to just win this year. I want to win for years to come. And the Detroit Lions may move on from Marvin Jones Jr. anyways, as, a couple years down the road as he begins to age, may look for a younger wide receiver. Maybe Travis Fulgham steps into that role. But for right now, I hope everything gets figured out. There's no trades going to be happening, and this is just a rumor, not actually a thing. So let me hear your thoughts and comments below about Marvin Jones Jr. I would like to see him stick around, but again, if he does get hurt, then, well, now you're kind of in a tough position if you're the Detroit Lions. Thank you, Pride, for watching, and I'm out.